It was Monday morning at Ridgeway High, the kind of morning where the sun looked too bright, the air too quiet, and every student dragged themselves through the school gates as if entering a battlefield. Ridgeway wasn't the biggest school, but it was known for one thing: its hierarchy. The social pyramid here was built on fear, not friendship. And at the top of that pyramid stood one name everyone knew: Blake Carson. Captain of the football team, the self-proclaimed King of Ridgeway. He didn't just lead the field, he ruled the halls. Blake had a reputation for making the rules no one dared to break, from where people sat in the cafeteria to which locker rows were off limits. No teacher questioned him, no student challenged him. Until that day of that morning, a transfer student arrived, a girl named Maya Torres. Quiet, confident, her posture was different from others. There was a calmness about her, a stillness that almost looked like strength disguised as politeness. She had moved from another city, and according to the principal's brief introduction, she was just looking for a fresh start. The students didn't think much of it. But Blake did. Because in his mind, new students meant new prey, and Ridgeway's king didn't like anyone entering his territory without permission. By second period, the whispers began. "Hey, have you seen the new girl? She's sitting in Blake's spot in the cafeteria." That was all it took. A single rumor, and the hallways erupted with tension. Everyone knew Blake's number one rule: no one sat at his table. It wasn't written anywhere, but everyone understood it like law. Maya, however, didn't know the rules. She sat alone, calmly eating her lunch, unaware that every eye was on her, and every whisper was feeding a storm she couldn't yet see. Blake entered the cafeteria like he owned the place. His football jacket gleamed, his friends flanking him like bodyguards. Laughter died down. Conversations stopped. It was as if the whole cafeteria held its breath. He spotted Maya instantly, sitting exactly where he sat every day. His smirk twisted into a glare. "Who's she?" he muttered to his friend Jake. "New girl," Jake whispered, "doesn't know the rules." Blake's jaw tightened. "Then let's educate her." He strutted toward her, his sneakers echoing against the floor. Maya looked up, smiling politely, unaware of the social war she had just triggered. "You're in my seat," Blake said, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. The cafeteria grew even quieter. Maya blinked, confused. "Oh. I didn't see your name on it," she replied softly, a trace of amusement in her tone. That single sentence was enough to light the fuse. Blake's friends chuckled nervously, they weren't used to anyone answering back. Blake leaned closer, his voice low but venomous. "I don't need to write my name on it. Everyone knows it's mine." Maya's calm didn't waver. She simply tilted her head and said, "Then maybe everyone forgot to tell me." That sentence, gentle but confident, hit harder than any insult. For a split second, Blake froze. He wasn't used to resistance, especially from someone new. The cafeteria erupted in quiet gasps. Some students admired her courage, others feared what would come next. Blake clenched his fists. "Watch yourself, new girl," he said coldly. "At Ridgeway, you follow my rules, or you learn the hard way." Maya simply nodded, unbothered. "Guess I'll learn then." Her voice carried no fear, no sarcasm, just quiet determination. She gathered her tray, stood up, and walked away. Blake watched her go, his ego stinging like an open wound. To him, that wasn't just defiance, it was humiliation. And humiliation demanded payback. That afternoon, the whispers turned into a storm. Everyone talked about the new girl who stood up to Blake. Some said she was fearless, others said she was crazy. Blake spent the rest of the day fuming, punching his locker, planning how to teach her a lesson. He didn't know who she was, what she had been through, or what kind of strength she carried, but he was about to find out. The next morning, Maya arrived early. She wore the same calm expression, the same quiet confidence. But something was different, the way she walked, the way her eyes scanned the surroundings. It was like she was prepared. She wasn't naive anymore. She had felt the eyes, the whispers, the hostility. She knew something was coming. But Maya had faced worse. Much worse. Before Ridgeway, she had spent 3 years training in mixed martial arts, not for competition, but for survival. Her father, a retired MMA coach, had raised her to never strike first but always stand tall. "Control the fight before it starts," he used to say. Maya remembered those words like armor. By lunchtime, Blake had gathered his crew. "Today, she learns," he said with a grin. The cafeteria buzzed with anticipation. People whispered, phones ready, waiting for the inevitable clash. Blake walked toward her again, louder, meaner, fueled by pride. "You didn't learn yesterday, huh?" he said. Maya didn't look up at first. Then she met his eyes, calm, steady, unafraid. "I learn fast," she said softly. "But maybe you're the one who needs the lesson." The cafeteria gasped. Blake laughed, pretending not to be shaken. "You think you're tough? You're just some transfer girl who doesn't know her place." He grabbed her tray and threw it on the floor. Food splattered everywhere. Laughter erupted from his friends, but Maya didn't flinch.